You know, I'm a simple man, Ryan. Simple things in life. I think simple life is the way you want to go. And I only asked one thing of the Cleveland Browns when they go into preseason games. That was to not get hurt. Apparently, that message was lost on Saturday. I know there's nothing we can do about it. You got to play somebody. That list of not playing on Saturday was quite impressive. You had to put somebody out there. And, of course, the one position, specifically the one position of offensive tackle that you could ill afford to have injuries. You got three guys that were walking out of that game with crutches or braces or questions or all that kind of stuff. I know we got time. I know you have this week. You got our final preseason game. Now I'm getting nervous about who you're going to play on Saturday. You have no choice. You have got to play Deshaun Watson. So you got to put out your starting offensive line, or at least the semblance of what you assume it's going to be. But I wonder, have these injuries made you question that? Have these injuries, specifically on the offensive line, made you question if Deshaun Watson should play Saturday night against the Seattle Seahawks? You know me. I wanted him in their game one. You didn't get it. He was out there in joint practices, and now you got banged up on Saturday. You finish it up this week. It just makes it hate the preseason even more. And we gear up and get ready to go. We're even that much closer now to the season kicking off against Dallas. But I'm not going to say it went about as bad as it could have gone, but it was not a good Saturday for the Cleveland Browns. I don't give a damn about the score, but the injuries are not a good place for the Browns right now. We have a lot to discuss with that. We got a lot of Browns to get to this morning. Power rankings, hot seat for the Cleveland Browns. And Will Brinson, who we are efforting to get on the show, gives his projected win total for every team in the NFL. Actually, it's not even the AFC. And it's not only just what Vegas is saying, but Will is going to tell us if he likes the over, the under. We'll get to that. We're going to sprinkle in some Cavs today. 4 runs? 4 runs? They played 3 games. That's it? That's all you got? We might not even be able to talk about the Guardians today because I'm just going to lose it.
Pitching was good.
Lively didn't deserve that yesterday, man. I will try to keep it together about the Guardians this morning. That was frustrating. That was an extremely frustrating series, but we'll talk about them coming up another Monday to start the grid. This has got to be the week. Ryan, I did the grid over the weekend. I've been practicing.
Okay.
I've been doing it. We got to remember Jared Cook. Yesterday, it was like the Saints and the Chargers. Jared Cook. Got to remember him. Now Stephon Gilmore, once he then plays for the Vikings, we got to remember. All right, we'll get to the grid because if we do a full week of the grid every single day, we have a giveaway, a prize for you out there, an exciting one. We'll get to that. I'm really excited about the bracket this week. Time Hop, morning update, all of it right here on a Monday edition on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Hopefully you had a fantastic weekend. Back for another great week right here on Big Play and an important week. Gearing up for the final preseason game, the Guardians, Yankees, tomorrow. Dude, you know, we're going to start some Browns this morning, but just quick on the guards. Like, you know, these kind of series, I want to believe. I do. And sometimes your faith gets tested, man. But boy, you watch these series and it just brings up all like the negative worry that I have with this team. And you just like for the bats to go as silent as they did. There's people questioning Quan. Like it's just Lane Thomas has been because it's like I sit there and you scream, you're like, man, you wanted starting pitching. The pitching was not the problem, right? Like, and I know Vogt was sitting there yesterday saying, well, you know, we faced 3 pretty good pitchers and they do a great job. Dude, I expect better out of that lineup. I really do. And I don't want to sit there and say there's no point in me banging my head against the wall. I'm getting concerned. It's 2 games now. 2. To not only fall out of the AL Central, but to fall out of the bye in that first round for the playoffs. And like, oh my God. And you want to know what? Welcome to baseball. They could go and have a great series there in the Bronx and turn everything around and you feel better. But, Ryan, I don't feel great. about this team. It's just these stretches, and that is what will cost you in the playoffs. You cannot have back-to-back games that you don't show up. You're going to be out of the playoffs. And I'm not saying that I need them to change their philosophy, right? Baseball can't be every single day and worrying about this game, but eventually it's going to be when you get to the playoffs. And this series just was a kick in the gut. And I didn't like it. I'm going to hold off on that. I'm still all on. I still think they're going to win the Central. God, please, I hope. But, man, this series sucked. It was not a good weekend for the Guards, man. That was tough. That was really hard. Really hard. But we'll get to some more Guards coming up here because we got to start with some Browns this morning. So the preseason game, okay, they play all the backups, and here we go. Hudson injured. Akeem Adeniji injured. Jermaine Ifedi injured. Now, Stefanski gave the updates yesterday that some of those guys, like Hudson sounds like he'll be back. He'll be ready to go for week 1. Is it Adeniji? One of them's got the hand, and I think it's Adeniji. And he'll be all right. Ifedi might be out a little bit longer.
No, I think you have it.
Do I have it backwards?
Vice versa. Adeniji got hurt. I think it was his leg.
Knee.
Yeah,
he's got a knee.
When he chased down that interception.
Oh, that's right.
And he fell.
All right, here, let me go. Stefanski.
Hudson's out like a week with an ankle.
Hudson has an ankle. He won't play this week, but he'll be back soon. Ifedi should be good to go. Right. He's got the hand, but Adeniji is going to be out for a little while with the knee.
Right.
What is up with Jed Wills? Like, again, surgery
seems like a very disconnect.
But it's like, are they just sitting there saying he'll be ready to go for week 1 so we don't need him to practice?
Well, if your plan was to start Deshaun Watson in week 3 against the Seahawks, then I would have imagined that Kevin and company would have thought that Jed would have been ready to practice this week.
And maybe we get that news tomorrow. They're off today. Maybe he somehow out of nowhere practices tomorrow.
I don't know. They said he's not practicing this week.
That's what I'm like. What are we doing? And then you talk about the idea that they're not getting DeJuan Jones over to that left side. He's staying there at the right. I guess I'm assuming Conklin's going to be back too. And then what comes out last week? Joel Bitonio might have to go out there and play left tackle again. And it's like,
no, you can't do that.
That was brought up.
No.
That was brought up.
Are you starting Zach Zinner?
Well, yeah, then Zinner's a right guard, isn't he?
Either way, you can just flip him.
I guess. I mean, at this point,
I don't think Zach's ready either.
If you got to go to the, hey, we're going to play the best 5 linemen that we have, and this is what we're going to have to do. Like, as I sit there and I get ready, again, not just for this preseason game, but certainly for the season, I know everything is on Deshaun Watson. We've talked about that every single day of every single week leading up to the season. But now I get this twist of, is that going to potentially be the downfall for this team? Is that going to be it? You know, we'll get to this from Bill Barnwell this morning about he predicted 5 teams that'll improve this season. Now, I will tell you, the Browns were not on this list because, again, you made the playoffs. And listen, I'm one of the biggest Browns fans like all of you out there. There's little room for, and improve is like, hey, they were bad. They were 4-13. They're going to get better, right? Browns were on that list. But when I think about all the lists that the Browns have been put on as far as, oh, man, they're a sexy pick to take a step back on the regression and all that other kind of stuff, I come back to the offensive line, which then ties to what? Deshaun Watson. If we have all these problems on the O-line, that leads to problems with Watson. Like, Ryan, I'm already circling that as like, man, that's my area of concern for this team right now. And it's not even so much about, okay, you don't have Bill Callahan anymore, and I'm sure Andy Dickerson's doing a fine job. You're just down bodies at this point. And even with like Hudson, I know a lot of people are kind of in or out on James Hudson. And for me, when it comes to Hudson, it's almost like at this point, it's like either do your business or get off the pot. And what I'm saying is he's been here with Bill Callahan. I'm sure James Hudson would actually like to go play somewhere else where he has a chance to start. It seems like he always gets glossed over in this thing, right? Does anybody feel like he's your starting left tackle if Jed Wills isn't here next year or anything like that? No.
No, he'll draft one.
So I'm assuming Hudson's even going to go, all right, man, I need to go somewhere else to see if I can get a chance to start, make some money, turn myself into a starting offensive lineman. So you sit there with Hudson going down, and you're like, okay. Then with the other two, which again, I liked a lot of the signings with guys that had played a lot. Jermaine Ifedi has played a lot of football in his career, and that's what I like about a backup. Now you almost are like, all right, we got to thrust these guys in there, and they get banged up with injuries. And there's nothing you can do about that. Injuries just happen. but it's the one position that you could be ill afford to be snake bitten on. Are you worried about it? You want to put that out as our question this morning at Matt Fontana Show? Drop us a follow because, again, when we get the grid this week, you're going to need to follow the show for the giveaway. I'm going to speak this into existence, Ryan, this week on the grid. I feel really good. For those who don't know, in hour 2, we do the Immaculate Grid every day. You got to put an NFL player with 2 different teams. Sometimes there's statistical categories and all that kind of stuff. If we get 5 days straight of getting it done, then we do a giveaway for you, the fans out there. I already know what the giveaway is. It's going to be awesome. It's exciting. So you got to follow the show for that. How concerned are you with the Browns' offensive line situation? You got 3 options. I can see it from over here. Looks good to me.
Oh, I just put, are you worried?
Oh.
But we can gauge it.
Yeah, gauge it. Give me 3. Lot, little, no. However you want to do it. Ryan runs Twitter. And I want to sit here, and I'm actually going to make the case that I'm not maybe as concerned as some people are for a couple of reasons. Number one, this still does fall on Deshaun Watson. I know people would sit there and tell me, like, dude, you're going to have bad offensive line play. Well, one of the things about Deshaun Watson, if he's in his prime and playing the way he should be able to mask some of that. Now, I go back to a stat from Warren Sharp, and we're going to have Warren on this week, about the percentage of pressures that resulted in sacks. And Deshaun Watson was bottom quarter of the league. Basically, when he got pressure, they actually sacked him about a third of the time. That's not a good statistic. The best in the league was Josh Allen, and he was 1 out of 10. You know, Deshaun Watson was 1 out of 3. You can't have that. But you would assume his legs, you can buy some time with that. You believe it's going to be a lot of moving pockets to help him out. But you don't have Bill Callahan. You know, back where I used to just say, oh, Callahan will work his magic, man. He'll get these guys up and ready to go. You're not there. And now you're down bodies. Here's where my hope lies. And this is maybe stupid. I just assume Jed Wills is going to be back. And maybe that's wrong of me just to make a blanket statement like that. But I would have to believe, and maybe even just this, the vibes I'm getting from the Browns, and they can't obviously come out and tell you they're concerned about. They got to play the stoic, like, no, we're fine, stone-faced on this. I just assume Jed Wills is going to be back. I kind of assume the same thing for Jack Conklin. And then there you still have DeJuan Jones. And here's another little thing that I've picked up. DeJuan Jones is going to start. I believe that. Down to my core. Because I've heard some people out of that building say that they actually think DeJuan Jones is their best tackle. Like, better than Jed Wills and better than Jack Conklin. Now, that's a lot to put on a second-year guy, and maybe that's just fluffing up some padding for the eventual hit that you'll have that one of those guys might not be ready. But from my understanding, they are going to start DeJuan Jones. So now I sit there and say, would you not just start him at right tackle? He's not practiced anywhere else, right? We've not seen him in games anywhere. Like, he's a right tackle.
Yeah.
So then do you ask Jack Conklin to go back to his Michigan State days and you flip him over to left while Jed Wills gets better, or maybe you trade one of these guys? That's why I'm not overly concerned. And the other thing, and I'm not trying to be mean about this, the guys that got hurt were your backups, right? I like depth, and if anything has shown us in the last couple of years with the Browns, you need depth at all positions. You need corners, you need linemen, you needed quarterbacks, you've needed running backs, you've needed it all. I get it. But our backups got hurt, and I want people to remember that as they vote on this Twitter question. That's not me crapping on Adeniji or Jermaine Ifedi or anything like that. These guys were not meant to play once the season started. But the issue is, again, Jed Wills and Jack Conklin. My hope on that, Ryan, is that Wills and Conklin will be fine. They'll be ready to go, and they'll be starting week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, what would your comeback to me on that probably be? Dude, they haven't practiced. Like, there's a concern with them not being out there. And I guess if I really wanted to, again, take my uber positive approach to this, it is offensive line. It's not quarterback. It's like, could you just step in there and do, like Jack Conklin, he's played a lot of football. You just assume, hey, man, you should be able to get in there and go. But there's a conditioning element, all of it. I don't know. I'm actually going to say I'm not worried on it. That's where I'm going to vote. I'm trying to get some positivity on it. Ryan, cast your vote, please. How concerned are you about the offensive line injuries?
I'll say moderately. I think we'll be all right if you can get some sort of semblance of Jack Conklin, DeJuan Jones, and Jed Wills, whether it's DeWand at right, and whether Jed is fine or you have to shift Jack at left, like as long as you have some semblance of that, I think you'll be all right. Now, is that preferable? No, because even though they're not first, second, third year guys, they're vets. It's still going to be their first game action of coming off season-ending surgery, right? So, but I think that's better than the alternative of having to throw out a James Hudson out there or a Jermaine Ifedi. I think that's still better.
Right, 80%
but it all comes
of Jack Conklin's better than 100%.
But it does all come back to you have to be a little bit worried, especially you, Matt, because you talk about, what was something huge that you saw from Deshaun that you didn't love last year. It was the pocket presence, and oftentimes that comes with, when you're getting scrambled, when the rusher's there in 2 seconds, you have to scramble. Now, I don't know if Deshaun is going to be like keeping that in his head. Like, is he going to be worried looking at his left side and seeing somebody there that he doesn't prefer? Is that going to mess with him? I don't know. It's to be determined. But I mean, like you said, it's preseason injuries. It's going to happen, and at least it's not your starter.
You know what else I got for you from our friend Warren Sharp Football Analytics? Best remaining offensive tackles still on the market. So we saw Stephon Gilmore get his deal. He waited out. He got it. He's there. Browns have a little cap space after not having to get Brandon Ayuk and all the other deals. Any of these, I'm going to run through this list quick. Any of these guys, and there's all one thing in common with most of them, and you could probably guess what it is. They're old.
Yeah.
Donovan Smith, David Bakhtiari, DJ Humphries, Jason Peters, who's got to be 44 at this point, Charles Leno, I remember him with the Panthers forever. How old is he? Charles Leno's only 32. Okay. Billy Turner, Dwayne Brown, and Riley Reif. Those guys are all available on the street. You could, if really push came to shove, you could go sign one of those guys. Now, here's your inherent problem. Those guys haven't played either, right? But at least they're healthy. Like, that's another reason why I'm going to temper my, I won't say expectations, but my worry on the offensive line. Here's what I think is going to happen. This week, again, if Will's not going to practice, okay, fine. You get your starting interior guys in there, Posick, Teller, Bitonio. And don't forget, we still got those guys here too. Whoever you put at left tackle on Saturday might give you a little sense of something. You see how it goes this week. Next week, when you got to get to the 53, that's when your rubber is going to hit the road. And that's either going to be we are flipping somebody over to left tackle. Maybe you put Wills on PUP. Maybe you go get one of these guys. I'm right there with you, bro. What?
Wills on PUP would be nuts.
What is up?
Chubb comes back before Wills.
Like, seriously. He got hurt months after Nick Chubb. I'm not going to say what I want to say. I can't, because it's just not right. But something stinks with this.
Yeah, it does.
And I don't know what it is. Something stinks about this whole situation. I'm not trying to call anybody out, and I'm not going to do that. Something just isn't stirring the pot on this about Jed Wills. And you're stuck. I'm not going back to why'd you pick up his fifth-year option. I'm not going back to... Ryan, you and I have done shows where I talked about there's an extension potentially on the table for Jedrick Wills. I see that path where they sign him to an extension. Why? Because you could do a lot worse at left tackle. But if you add in now that he's an average tackle, maybe a slight above average, but if you're going to add in this injury stuff now, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Juice ain't worth the squeeze.
It ain't making, it's not making a lot of sense right now. And that goes back to, again, where you draft or what you have. And it's funny because I know you said the tweet when we started the show this morning. Anybody out there going to play left tackle? We went from a situation for 10 plus years. That was the one position you didn't need to worry about. And you had hoped that Jed Wills was going to be the stopper. Bro, do you remember Desmond Harrison? Do you remember Greg Weedman Robinson when he came back on this team? And you were just cycling these fools in here. And you got Jed Wills. You made that pick. You thought it was going to be it. And here we are again. And again, it's relative of these positions to be concerned about what you're going to do. And I guess it's relative of you have a lot of your other spots kind of tied up. You can maybe invest a little bit of money there. But, man, I thought Jed Wills was going to be it. And not saying that he'd ever play anywhere to the level of Joe Thomas, but just to be a middle-of-the-road offensive line, middle-of-the-road left tackle, that's all I needed. And now he can't even get on the field. We're done, man. This is it with him. Like, I thought there was that world of this extension, but I think when you add this kind of stuff in, and the Browns know, I don't, but don't forget this, the Browns know what's really going on with Jed Wills. I'd like that answer. I'm not going to get that answer. Something stinks. Something is not right. And injuries can be a finicky thing, and the surgery can go great, and you can do all the rehab, and it's not responding or something. I don't like it. I don't like it. And it's enough to a point now where whatever happens, man, I think I'm ready to go on Jed Wills here.
Yeah,
you can get out there and play half of this season.
But what's your plan? What's your plan next season?
Go spend.
Sure.
I guess. Spend. You know, if we get that, and I haven't done a deep dive on the draft of 2025, but like, if you can find a lineman there.
Well, you can move on from the Conklin next year.
Conklin will be gone.
Right.
Jed Wills.
So you won't have that on your books.
Well, then the problem is what happens if Joel Bitonio gets done and he says, you know what? You'd have to be replacing 3 of your starters on that offensive line. And then there's a guy like Wyatt Teller that seems everybody wants to wish him out of this town, and Postic's only on one more year.
Yeah, we got Zinter for Bitonio next year.
Well, that's obviously what you thought about. Yeah, and DeJuan Jones would be your starting right tackle for a long time. I feel pretty confident, and dare I would say, Ryan, I can almost guarantee you DeJuan Jones is starting. DeJuan Jones is going to start for this team somewhere. Where? That's the question. Has this been a big secret that they're going to flip him over to left tackle to start the season? Is that maybe what's been going on behind closed doors, not out there at practice? Maybe this is the giant ace up the sleeve they got. Could you see it? I don't know.
Well, why wouldn't they give him reps yesterday?
I don't know. Why wouldn't they give him reps at practice? I don't know. It's concerning to a point.
Well, I mean, he's coming off surgery.
He's coming off his own injury. He's back.
So I don't know if that's a smart move.
He's back. I'm just going to try to downplay this a little for some people. I'm not overly concerned. I think the Browns will figure it out. It was backups that got hurt, and even if you really needed to, there are some guys out there you could sign for a $7 million deal, something like that.
Yeah, $10 million for those guys.
I mean, they're still on the street.
Yeah, because they're waiting. They know
they're waiting for exactly what happened to the Browns. Starting guys get hurt.
Right, but somebody will come pay them a nice $10 million.
Seven. I'll give you $7. I'll give you $7 for. Didn't Bakhtiari fit here? And then that just work? I guess. You're right. Another guy that has not been able to stay healthy throughout his career, or at least lately. There's options. You have options out there, but I think this week will be really important to see if you can get one of these guys back or just kind of play it out. So I'm going to vote not concerned on it. Our Twitter question is up, at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a follow there. Vote on our Twitter question this morning. Got a lot coming up. Wanted to head over to ESPN, and they did preseason power rankings, and then a person on each team that is on the hot seat. Could be a player, a coach, executive, all that kind of stuff. Would you like to start at the top, Ryan, and see how good you are on the list today? NFL Power Rankings preseason, number 1.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Correct. Rashee Rice on the hot seat.
What?
Off-season legal troubles.
Oh, well, that's not. Well, first of all, I don't think he's going to get suspended until next year.
And then
Marquise
Brown,
I wouldn't make him on the hot seat.
Injured.
He's rookie deal.
Xavier Worthy playing well.
Yeah, Xavier Worthy played really well. Yesterday was.
That's just what they said.
That first drive, he got like 5 receptions and a touchdown.
All right, number 2 on ESPN's power rankings. Don't necessarily agree with it, but 2.
So it's not the 49ers?
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Another NFC team?
No.
AFC team?
Yep.
The Ravens?
Yeah. On the hot seat, Ronnie Stanley. Number 3, San Francisco. Debo on the hot seat. Number 4, Lions. Jameson Williams on the hot seat. Boy, would I love them to let him go, man.
Yeah.
I know he's coming off the ACL. Then he got violated for the gambling policy. It's a big year for him, and it's scary to think about him on the same field as Amon-Ra St. Brown with Sam Laporta.
It's a huge year for him.
Ooh, big year for him on the hot seat. Number 5, Philadelphia. Give you one guess who's on their hot seat.
Nick Sirianni.
That is correct. Number 6, Houston. Hot seat for Houston.
Well, I mean, okay. Well,
I think you started to say it. I think you started to say the person that's on the hot seat.
Well, I don't know if it's like a hot seat, but he's on a 1-year deal right now. It's Stephon.
Correct.
Right, because it's like there's really no risk. Well, you could pay him next year, but then again, it's like he's older, so I don't know if he will. We'll see how he produces this year.
It's probably the hot seat of like, yeah, if you want to get paid a little bit, but I don't think it's necessarily a hot thing for Houston. Like he's like a bonus thing. It's like a cherry on top of that of what they got going on down there. Number 7, ESPN preseason power rankings. Buffalo hot seat. Sean McDermott, who I called for last year and said it might be a rough year. I'll say the same thing this year. 8 is Miami. Hot seat, Ohio, Cleveland's own Liam Eichenberg on that offensive line. 9 is the Bengals, offensive lineman Alex Kappa. 10 is Green Bay, Anders Carlson, their kicker, on the hot seat. 11, Dallas. Who's on the hot seat for the Dallas Cowboys, writes Todd Archer.
Should be Mike McCarthy.
It's not.
It really should be Jerry Jones, but
It
unfortunately...
is Jerry Jones.
Okay.
He put Jerry Jones on this.
I'm hot.
He said the easy answer is Mike McCarthy, maybe Dak Prescott, but nothing happens this year will impact Jones' status as the owner and the general manager, but he's got a lot on the line about how he's constructed this team and how he's handled his business
He's
this
a
offseason.
clown.
Well, how about this? The Cowboys season ticket renewal was more than 99%. The crowds at training camp have been smaller, and the anger with the organization seems to be higher than ever. That's exactly right. That Jerry Jones ain't firing himself, man. So what? What are you going to do?
Right. There's no hot seat.
Right.
He's the one that gives
He's
hot
lighting
seats.
his own hot seat. It would be like me taking a lighter and putting it over underneath my seat right now.
Did you see Deadpool yet?
No.
Okay.
What did I text you, bro?
Yep. I knew you'd like
The
that.
one cameo. I've seen, they're all spoiled for me. I'm just going to wait for the movie to hit streaming at this point.
Even,
Right. It goes, even this one? And I'm
Well,
like, no, it'd be the one I didn't know.
we have listeners. I won't do that.
I know. I don't want to do it to anybody out there. You know the one I texted you, though. That was again, everybody knew about the other one, the other big one that I wanted, but the one that I texted you was the one that just ripped my heart out because I saw it. But no. Why? What made you think of that? Hot seat? Something about Deadpool?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to.
No, you don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for everybody. But Jerry Jones on the hot seat for Dallas. And then finally, I should have had you guess where the Cleveland Browns were at. Do you think 12 is appropriate for the Cleveland Browns? With the teams that I listed ahead, Dallas, the Packers, Bengals, Dolphins, Bills, Texans, Eagles, Lions, 49ers, Ravens, and Chiefs. I actually think that's appropriate. I think the Browns at 12 is fine.
I'm fine with it. I mean, I actually, I'm really fine with it.
That's okay. I agree.
With a history of failure, so many questions surrounding Deshaun Watson, I think it's a fair ranking.
Hot seat?
Deshaun?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it a player?
Yeah. Ooh, who'd you think it was going to be non-player? You just threw it out there as a thought? You know it's not Jim Schwartz. That guy walks on water. People always be upset with Stefanski.
Oh, well.
Barry, if you want to talk about how this Michael Hall situation has been handled, things like that, but it's not. It is a player.
Was it Jed?
It is Jed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Daniel Oifusi, who now covers the team. Will started 53 games since being selected with the 10th overall pick, but he enters a contract year returning from a torn MCL that only got 8 games last year, and he remains on the pup. Wait, he's
on the pup, but
it's like the active pup, right? Like they'd have to move him
It's
to the other one to
Nick
get him out.
Chubb's
He
on
can
right
come back off of it at any point,
Correct.
and then if they got to move him to the right, that's right.
If he's on the pup on the 53, you have to miss the first 4 games.
And the worst thing, Daniel writes, there's no timeline for his return. None. He needs to show that not only is he healthy, but he's the long-term answer at blindside. He ain't the long-term answer anymore. I'm writing that off. And Andrew Barry has done a lot of what, we've dubbed this Barry special here, 1-year veteran deals. Could you live in a world that your just left tackle is, and it's a premium position, which I get. Could you just keep cycling some guys in there on 1-year deals? I don't want to do that. I'd rather find somebody, but at least for this intermediate where you understand Jed Wills probably isn't it, I'm done. I'm ready to move on. And you got to find somebody else, and you got to find somebody for the right now, too. But I'm not done. And, I'm more concerned about Dallas, which is just 3 weeks away. I'm more concerned about when you have to face Micah Parsons, when you got to face TJ Watt, when you got to face the litany of pass rushers on this schedule. That's what I'm worried about. It's the right now. So Jed Will's there. I disagree with Daniel just a little bit on if he's going to be the long-term answer. We'll see. You want to run through some of these other teams' hot seat?
Yeah, I do.
Rams are 13. Tutu Atwell.
Okay. Scrub.
Fine. Jacksonville 14. Press Taylor, their offensive coordinator. I mean, yes, because if it goes bad again, but doesn't Peterson call plays?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, no, he doesn't, because apparently Shad Khan, the owner, has hinted he'd like to see Peterson call a full-time plays. I don't know. We'll see. Jets are at 15. Hot seat.
Robert Saleh.
That is correct. Pittsburgh at 16. Hot seat from Brooke Pryor.
Player, coach.
Player. Tomlin. They want him to be on the hot seat. He ain't on the hot seat. Player.
Well, is it a quarterback?
No.
Okay. Because I was going to say that's kind of... Yeah.
No, and what did Tomlin say? He's still undecided, which is a load. It's a crock of crap. He knows who
I mean, Cam Hayward...
No, not Cam Hayward. They love him there.
No, that's what I'm saying, though, because they're talking about potentially trading him and they don't want to pay him.
Yeah.
Levi Wallace?
Ooh, good deep pull. Same position, but no. Oh, is he a corner?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought he was a wide receiver.
Oh.
Pickens.
Pickens. How is Pickens on a hot seat?
Because, okay, you trade away Deontay Johnson. Doesn't seem like you're going to get Brandon Ayuk.
Right.
But that's a lot on Pickens.
He's still got like 2-3 years on his rookie deal.
And I still think Pickens is pretty
Can you
good,
be on
man.
a hot seat on your rookie deal?
That's an interesting question.
You know what I mean? It's like there's no risk.
Yeah, and
really.
he also was not a first-round pick. It's not like he was the 5th overall pick or anything like that.
Right.
I'll listen to that. Bears hot seat at 17. Eberflus. Not shocked there. Colts 18. Falcons 19. Whatever. Chargers 20. Quentin Johnston. Yes, that's going to be a big year for him. Tampa Bay, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, their defensive lineman, is 21. Seattle, 22. Seattle down at 22.
Yeah.
Hot seat, easy.
Geno
Smith.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, their offensive line is trash.
I know. They just have so many good skill guys, though, and good defense. 23. Oh, don't put him on here, man. I don't want to see this. Minnesota. Hot seat, our old friend, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. Kwesi. For understandable reasons, Adofo-Mensah has embarked on a quarterback transition as he enters the third of a 4-year contract. McCarthy out, Darnold the starter, got Dallas Turner, but Adofo-Mensah only has 3 picks in next year's draft, and a bad season wouldn't necessarily cost him his job, but it could signal whether or not they're going to extend him on his deal.
Oh, was that their GM?
Yeah, Kwesi. He's a former assistant GM here to Andrew Barry. They did a really cool shout out to Bo and Nathan on Cleveland Browns Daily. I listened to it on the pregame this weekend. They did a sit down with both Kwesi and AB because they're friends. They talk a lot. Now he's up there in Minnesota, so I want him to do well. I don't want to see him fail. Tennessee's at 24. Saints are at 25 with Dennis Allen on the hot seat. The Giants at 26. Daniel Jones, who looks horrendous. I don't usually read into preseason, but oh my gosh, is he bad.
He's so awful.
And the thing is, it's now in his head. You've now crossed that line where now Daniel Jones believes, I think, that he knows he's bad. Really not a good situation. Raiders 27. Do you think Devontae Adams is on the hot seat? I don't. I think he's fine.
Maybe in terms of a trade.
I guess maybe, but he's fine. They're just going to tank. Commanders are at 28. Cardinals are at 29. Am I the only one believing the Cardinals are going to be a top 20 team this year?
I think they're definitely going to be better than they are last year. I think people are still sleeping on Kyler.
Yeah. Patriots are at 30. Broncos 31. Panthers 32 with Bryce Young being their hot seat guy. So there it is. That's a run through of the NFL and their preseason power rankings and the players on the hot seat. Got more NFL to get to, including Bill Barnwell's predictions of 5 teams that'll improve this year. I have some NBA. I'm really interested in this. ESPN did a panel, their summer forecast panel, to place votes. Which team will make a major leap in the NBA? Which team will make a leap back? Which player will make their first All-Star game this year? And which player will request a trade? Cavs sprinkled in there. We'll get to that coming up. But, folks, we got two major announcements. One, we've already been doing. Our golf outing, August 31st. Ryan, Tyler, and me confirm.
Yes, sir.
We will be there, folks. All of us. Williams, Hanford, Gab, Reflog, Padone, the Cribs. Are the Cincy guys coming up?
I don't know.
I got to ask that. I'm assuming the Cincy guys, Bobby Carpenter, Anthony, I don't know. We'll maybe be there.
What are we doing for our foursome? Is this outing a 4-person
Scramble.
Okay.
From my understanding, it's a scramble. And we'll be out there, Little Mountain, August 31st. Kick off your Labor Day weekend. 1 o'clock shotgun start. Foursomes are still available. And I think there's still opportunities if you want to go golf with the Williams boys or Hanford. Options for that. Charity activations. We've gotten a few of these. We still have a couple open slots. If you work with a charity, we'd love to have you out there for free. We'll put you on a hold. We'll get you a prize to give away in some way, some form or fashion, and hopefully you can raise a lot of money. So we'll see you there. Go to bigplay.com. Bigplay.com. This is basically like Garage Beer's outing that is also ours. Gets you in the beer, the lunch, the dinner, prizes, all of it. You're at Little Mountain, $250 a golfer.
Are your buddies good?
Yes. Yeah,
All right,
I think
good.
so. Yeah.
So we're
be
going
all right.
for gold?
Can we win our own outing? I don't know.
I don't see why not.
I don't know. We'll see.
Just for pride.
Just for pride. So we'll see how it goes. Bigplay.com. Come on out. Foursomes are still available. Check it out. And then the bigger announcement, because this got announced over the weekend. We've been working really hard on this. Really, Dave has. Yeah. Folks, we have an app. Let's go. A brand new app for you to be able to consume our content right here with Big Play. There's our app. Download it, iOS, Apple, Roku TV. And I think it's getting to the Google Play Store soon. My understanding was like Google took longer for it to actually populate. Folks, you get right there and you see everything. Like literally scroll down. Here's our show. Here's Josh and Maria. Here's Enter the Jungle. Here's every interview that we do. It's all there. Bonus time with Drennan, Hanford, Enter the Jungle, all of it is right there on our new Big Play app. It is completely free to download. You can still watch the show on Twitter and YouTube and everywhere that we have it, but this is a new place for our show. Now, I will tell everybody at this point, our show does not stream live on the app. Maybe one day.
I hope.
When we get there. But this is, if you miss the shows, you can go back and see them. They're all right there. It's free to download. Once you do, please give it a 5-star review. Write up a review if you can. Download it. And I just want to say, Dave has been busting his ass for months to get this app. It's awesome. I love the interface. I think it pops. All the shows are right there. It's great. So check it out. Big Play. Just search for that. Our show will be on there. All of them are there. So check it out. Big Play. Just search that in right now. Again, the Google Play Store. You can put it on your Roku TV. Any smart TV is out there. We have an app. It's awesome. And please check it out when you can. Big Play in the App Store there. All right, let's continue on now with a little bit of football. 5 teams from Bill Barnwell that he projects to improve this upcoming season. Number 1, the LA Chargers. 5-12 last year with the second easiest schedule in the league. Ryan, I assume the Chargers will be better than 5-12. They're not making the playoffs, though.
No, I still think they're probably at least one more year away from actually being dangerous. I mean, Herbert, again, coming off an injury. We'll see what he has if he really evolves to that MVP level like some people think he will. Their offensive line is heavily invested. They're really good, but then it comes down to, okay, your skill positions. You lose Eckler, you lose Allen, you lose Mike Williams. Quentin Johnson so far seems like an absolute bust.
Yeah.
And then you'll see what you got in Ladd McConkey and company. But I still think they're more than a year away from competing.
Patriots 4-13. You want to know the toughest thing about the Patriots? Their schedule, Ryan. They have the hardest schedule in the league, according to FBI. 4-13 last year.
Yep.
Do you believe they'll be better this year? All 4 of their wins, by the way, less than 7 points.
I don't think it's out
They
of...
blew nobody out.
I don't think it's out of the... Like 5 wins, 6 max. Like they're not in a position at all to compete again.
And
like
I think the pressure will be on is if they want to start Drake May.
And
Eventually they'll
start. They shouldn't.
I give them a couple of games maybe later in the year. I don't know. I think Brissett will start. You give it to Drake May. How about, and again, this is Bill Barnwell's 5 projected teams to be better than they were last year. Chargers, Patriots, 1-2. Jaden Daniels and crew, 4-13 last year. Washington Commanders, 11th easiest schedule in the NFL. They bring in Dan Quinn. They get rid of Montez Sweat and Chase Young. They tried to get Ben Johnson, but they couldn't, so they had to settle for Dan Quinn. Jaden Daniels, who's going to be the starter, ready to go. I think they'll be better than 4-13, so I agree with Bill. I think they're going to improve this year.
Yeah, I think so as well. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but I mean, you have Jaden Daniels, and if he's truly going to be that game changer quarterback, like he's looked really good in the preseason. And the Commanders, they haven't really had that quarterback type, right? I mean, you bring in Dan Quinn, the defense gets a boost, you assume. You still got nice pieces. You bring in Eckler, you got Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a really good quarterback.
I am really excited to see Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to be pretty good. Also 4-13, Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
14th toughest schedule in the NFL. They get Kyler Murray back. Is it weird for me just to assume that Kyler Murray returning is worth at least 3 wins to them to get to 7 somehow, some semblance way of that?
Yeah, I mean, we're not that far removed from the Cardinals starting that 10-1 season and Kyler putting up MVP numbers. I mean, a quarterback like him, once he's healthy, I mean, you don't just lose that agility and the ability to scramble. He's 26? He's not old. So I think Kyler's being massively underlooked this year.
Final one for Bill Barnwell. Teams he thinks is going to improve. It's crazy that they put them on the list because they finished 11-6. Kansas City Chiefs. They have the 8th easiest schedule in the NFL. And he also has a stat here about records decided in games of 7 or fewer points. They were 4-4. And he writes, in some ways, the Chiefs don't fit on this list, but the improved side of the column usually includes team with subpar records. But Andy Reid's team actually has a real chance to be better in one-score games. He said historically he's one of the better coaches in one-score games. You assume that'll improve with a little bit of an easier schedule. Your division really sucks outside of you. They could get up to 13. Which I think is in their over-under, which is interesting. So again, straight to schedule, I clicked on it from FPI. Browns are 8th. Have the 8th hardest schedule. Patriots, Bills, Steelers, Texans, Vikings, Titans, Lions, then the Browns. From strength to schedule from the FPI there, wrapping up a little bit of football. So I would have to agree with all those teams. I think those are easy pickings for teams to be improved. But of course, if we try to talk about teams that might not improve, Browns are usually on that list. I want to just... Should we go to basketball? I don't even know if I want to talk Guardians, man.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
I'm really frustrated. And it's not... Listen, I understand that it's not easy to go out there and just ask for 5 runs every single game. But this team is now very clearly everything is on the offense. Because even now when we're getting starting pitching, guys are getting klubered left and right. You go 6 innings, give up 2 runs, and you take a loss. That shouldn't happen. The approach... The switching of the lineup is not working. And the thing is, you're actually Will Brennan has actually come back from the minors and is hitting, right? It's some of the other guys like Quan. I don't even know if he's going to bat 300 for the season now, Ryan. We took bets. There were bets on if he was going to bat 400. He's not even going to finish 300 potentially.
I thought 350 was there.
Lane Thomas has been nothing. I know Naylor hit that home run after he had that screw up. I don't know what happens to this team in some series. Now watch, they'll go out and I don't want to say smoke the Yankees, but they'll go out and play well in the series against the Yankees and get me right back on board. You need it, man, because you wake up right now, the Twins are there.
Yep.
I thought about another question this morning. And dude, Kansas City now all of a sudden too. They won 4 straight.
Yeah, Minnesota should have won last night too.
Yeah, right. They should have. Thank God they choked that away. Are you nervous or excited for this stretch run of baseball? Because now it's like you're in this thing. And trust me, I'd love to have a 7-game lead. But you don't. This is creating drama. Sometimes that can be fun. Are you more nervous or excited about this Guardian stretch run getting ready to go to the playoffs?
It's exciting.
All
I mean,
right,
anytime
yeah,
you're
I'm
leading the
twisting
division,
your arm on that.
anytime you're leading the division this late in the season and it's right there for the taking, I mean, of course it's exciting. It comes with drama when you go through lulls, but I mean, if anything, hopefully it just wakes the team up a little bit.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's the thing. I need them to wake up. I need them to just play that. I don't know, man. It's just so hard because you can't live that way. Like, just every game being the most, but like these series, it's just there's little trends that I don't like with this team. And that's going to be the hardest thing as we get through it. So I'm going to say I'm excited about it, but we got a lot to go. All right, a little basketball to sprinkle in. So ESPN went to their summer forecast panel. I don't know how you get on that panel. I don't know if it's a paying job. I'm available. Ryan's available. We'll take it. We'll see how it goes. So they answered a couple of questions on this panel of experts from ESPN. And they voted, so there's a vote total on all of this thing. Which team will make the biggest leap this season coming up? 42% of the first place votes went to the Memphis Grizzlies, then San Antonio, then a big drop off. Warriors, Suns, Bucks, 76ers. Now we're into like individual votes, stuff like that. Cavs were not on the list for the biggest jump. And I think that's hard because they were a second-round playoff team last year. Memphis is easy. You get Ja Morant back. They drafted Zach Edey. I mean, they should have a good team. I get it. And the Spurs, who are second, is a lot on Victor Wembanyama. We'll talk about in a second coming up. So that's your biggest leap. What I didn't want to see for the Cavs, which team will take a tumble this season? Which team do you think got 43% of the first place votes on which team will take a tumble this year?
The Phoenix Suns?
No. They got some votes, but not a lot. This was overwhelming.
The Los Angeles Lakers?
That is correct. 53 points, 43%. Then some votes for the Clippers, couple of votes for the Hawks, some for the Bulls. Cavs were not on this list. Again, sign of positivity, but it's also like you're kind of just maybe stuck right in the middle, right? I got jokers to the left of me, clowns to the right.
Well, your roster looks the exact same. So.
Pretty much. Which player this season will get their first All-Star game? 90% of the first place votes went to...
Should I know this?
Yeah. Which guy's going to make his first All-Star game this year?
Oh, Mobley.
No. I mean, he's on the list, but he's not number one.
Oh, you made me think it was a Cav.
No, I'm sorry, no.
Oh.
You're overthinking it.
Wemby?
Wemby is correct.
Oh, okay.
90% of the votes for Victor Wembanyama. And again, here's the point total. He got 101. Chet Holmgren, 30. Mikal Bridges, Jamal Murray, Cade Cunningham, then Evan Mobley, which is 9 points.
Jamal hasn't made an All-Star game?
No. Isn't that crazy? Buddy Hield, Jaime Jaquez or whatever, and then Sengun from the Rockets all kind of finished up. But Evan Mobley got some votes. Final thing. Which star player... Well, okay, this isn't the final thing because the Cavs were on this. Which star player will have the biggest impact on their new team? 48% of the vote went to Paul George, then Mikal Bridges, then Alex Caruso, stretching the star on that. DeMar DeRozan, Chris Paul, and Klay Thompson all got votes on that. Next superstar to request a trade. This category was a 1 point per vote thing. So of the panel, 5 votes went to Brandon Ingram, 5 votes went to Zach LaVine, then Trae Young, then Jimmy Butler, then Kevin Durant, then Darius Garland.
Is he a star?
Sure, I guess. 2 votes for Darius Garland. Is that he would request the trade, or is it the Cavs would think it? Like, we all know this whole offseason of everything that has happened, and you sign Jared Allen, you get Mobley and Allen their extension, or Mobley and Mitchell their extension, all that kind of stuff. Here we are. We think, at least I do, that this first half of the season is going to be finding out, does it work with Darius Garland? Now, it's a bigger picture of, like, does it work with everybody? But the linchpin is going to be, does this come back to work with Darius Garland? And that's where, will he request a trade? I don't know so much as maybe the Cavs will decide to trade him, but I thought it was interesting he was on this list, at least brought up, because it all sounds like we glossed this over, like, oh, Garland's going to be here for the long term. I think this season will be a real tester for him, and that's the thing. They got to figure it out and decide if it's going to work. And that's what this first half of the season is going to be all about.
Yeah, I mean, if I thought I was going to be traded, I would go ahead and I'd let it leak. I'm requesting it.
Well, that
let it
I
spin
think
on its head a little bit.
I think eventually, but it's also, is there not an opening for Garland to see how this works through the first 30 odds? You know, we'll be more on that. Trade deadline's not till like February. So would you go 50 games into the season? Is there not a little intrigue on Darius Garland's part to see if this works too? But it's like, you know, he requested the trade, then he backed it off and said that was never true. Is he on this list just because he allegedly requested the trade early in the season? I don't know. But the thing is, him requesting it versus him, the team doing it, I think is one of the more interesting things. But you got 50 games to figure it out. Colt McCoy joining NBC's Big Ten coverage. Why would he cover the Big Ten? He's one of the greatest Big 12 quarterbacks of all time.
Now SEC.
You're right. Now Texas is in the SEC, by God. And they don't need any SEC. I just saw it this morning from Awful Announcing. Colt McCoy, which is, all right, good job for Colt's career.
I didn't know he retired.
I didn't know he did either, but I'm assuming it's like Ryan. Remember in Tannehill's like, I'm not retired. I'll take a call, but you're retired. He's joining NBC's Big Ten football coverage.
Oh, Tannehill retired?
He said he'll pick the phone up for the right opportunity, but he's not seeking opportunities anymore. So you're retired. Are you waiting for the Phillip Rivers? Are you waiting for the Matt Ryan where you're sitting on your couch and some teams come, Ryan Tannehill's not as good as those guys. So that's why I don't think anybody's going to call. I think he kind of reads the writing in the room that nobody wants him. But he's like, oh, you know, my phone, you know, I still got my same number. Give me a call if you need. I don't think anybody be calling for that. So Colt McCoy calls it a career. Who's your favorite college football analyst? Herbie?
Kirk.
Yeah, Kirk, yeah. I mean, him and Fowler goated. You know me and Gus Johnson. I'm not a big Gus Johnson guy. But even like, you know, panelists.
He's not really an analyst.
Well, those are game callers. You know, it's like talking about guys that are on the booth.
I consider Kirk an
or
analyst.
on the booth and on the desk.
I think Kirk's different than Gus.
No, they're play-by-play versus color. Yeah, 100%.
I just mean in terms of like, I would consider Kirk an analyst. I wouldn't consider Gus an analyst.
No, he's a play-by-play guy. So that's okay. Say you take Kirk out of it, of the desk people.
Right.
Like, I actually kind of like Urban. I like Big Noon Kickoff. I think they do a great job. ESPN, like, it's unfortunate that I think College Game Day, I don't know, maybe it's different just because mostly Ohio State was on Fox. Like, it was rare that they're on ESPN. Now a lot of that's going to flip over and change and all that kind of stuff coming up. But, like, I just would watch more Fox, so I was a little more in on Fox. So, like, I liked I liked it. It was Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart. I liked Herb up there, actually.
I think Urban does a good job.
Didn't they have a switch? Didn't they have a change on that? Big Noon Kickoff. Am I missing that? And by the way, I want to shout this out because one of my best friends in the world is now producing a podcast series for Sinclair. They have Brady Quinn. That's it. Brady Quinn's on that. They have a new podcast series with like Leinart and Urban Meyer with Sinclair. So one of my best friends, my college roommate, he is now the producer of that. So shout out to them. Shout out to Chris Turlop and crew. Big Noon Kickoff cast, right? Rob Stone, Mike Hill's a film, Mark Ingram, Leinart, Brady Quinn, Urban Meyer, Charles Woodson's a part-timer with Verducci, Clay Travis, Tom Rinaldi, reporters, contributors, insiders on that. And then College Game Day cast.
That's Herb, David Pollock.
He's fine.
Reese.
Oh, I like Reese. Reese. McAfee. Which I know he's talking like, oh, you know,
Lee
people.
Corso.
Yeah, and Lee's, you know.
And Desmond Howard.
Right now, Reese Davis, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Desmond Howard, who I do like very much on that. McAfee. That's right. Saban starts this year on that.
Yes.
He's going to be better than Belichick. Dude, I know Belichick's got this podcast and he's doing all this other stuff with, you know, whatever. I'm not even trying to be a hater. I don't think Belichick's going to be good. Saban's at least got a little bit of a personality. Belichick is dry. He's got nothing. I don't know. And then, of course, what happened this weekend? They let go of Sam Ponder and RG3.
Yeah,
a lot of people would kind of question what was going on there. None of my business. I don't know. No, they laid off Pollock. He's done.
How did they?
Yeah.
What about
well,
Lee Corso?
that's got to be
Is Lee Corso retired yet?
No, they can't. They can't fire him. They're going to retire him.
Right.
They'll tell him kind of wink, wink, nod, nod. I just think at that point, I'm come in and put the helmet on. That's it. And can I make this to ESPN, who I'm an employee of and I love very much? When he's done, retire that. Don't let McAfee do it. Don't let anybody else do it. That's Lee Corso's thing. Let it go. It's over. All good things must come to an end. But that I would definitely let go. That's a great 2 for Tuesday. You want to write that down for tomorrow? Big noon kickoff versus College game day. Now, who's NBC's crew going to be? NBC. What is their college pregame even called?
No idea.
Because now that they're in this, Maria Taylor, Matt Castle. It's got to be Tirico. Probably Noah Eagle at some point. All right, this is just from On3. Okay. NBC getting ready for its first season of Big Ten football has announced it's playing for Big College Countdown because they got Big Ten now. Maria Taylor, who I like, will host the show. Josh Perry, former Ohio State linebacker.
Nice, he's good.
He's very good. Matt Castle, and then Michael Robinson. Huh. Go get RG3. I think that'd be a really smart move for them to go grab him. And I'm not saying get rid of any of those other guys, but kind of need a bigger name up there. So yeah, we'll do that tomorrow on 2 for Tuesday. Big noon kickoff versus college game day. I'll be interested to see how that goes. Dude, doesn't today feel like college football day? Doesn't it feel like your football's around the corner, baby? I love it.
Yeah.
College football is so different for me because doing this job, obviously we're Ohio State, we cover Ohio State and all that. But I got to look at the Browns as more of a reporter, kind of, the media type of thing. Ohio State is the one football team that I'm truly just a fan. I really just veg out as a fan. I go to games as a fan. I love it. It's going to be great. Dude, around the corner, man. Hear that theme? Dude, let's go. We're going to be there. All right, coming up, hour 2, very important. We'll do the morning update. That grid, baby. We kick the week off with the grid. We go 5 days of perfection. We have got to make the decision, Ryan.
Yeah.
Are we going to allow ourselves one lifeline for the week?
Yes.
Okay, so we got to set parameters on that. Do you want to do it now or do you want to do it when we get to the grid?
We'll do it to get to the grid.
Okay, we'll do it when we get to the grid. We'll explain that. You're involved in this because if we get it, you get a prize out there. So check it out. We'll get to that coming up in a little bit. We got the morning update. We'll get to time up as well. Bracket, I'm really excited for that. And we got it all for you here on a Monday. Monday, our busiest day tonight. Big Play Cleveland show.
Yes.
Jensen.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Kev, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce his last name.
I saw you getting ready for it.
I apologize about that. He is a writer for Roto World Fantasy Football.
Tonight, Blake and Greg Williams. We got Hanford with Gab. It's all here. And don't forget Bobby Carpenter on Sundays. How could you miss Bob Carpenter and crew? All right here on Big Play. Folks, we got the new Big Play app for you get to watch everything there. Boom, done. All the shows. I got Bobby's car. Dude, how easy is that? Literally. Boom, boom. There it is. Loading up. There's Bobby's show. Right there. Done. Big Play app out there and available. It is in the Apple Store. Soon come in Google, Roku, Fire Stick, all that there. Everywhere that you need it. And then you just follow us on Twitter at Big Play. Go to our website, bigplay.com. It is all over the place. And get signed up for our outing at bigplay.com. All right, let's catch your first break of the morning. Busy hour 2. Stay with us. Fontana show right here on Big Play.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yep.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
Sorry, I'm giving crap to my buddy because, obviously everybody's like starting school. And one of my good friends, he is now a professor. And today's his first day of school. I go, where's your chalkboard picture? Like Paul's first day at school.
What does he teach?
He's a nurse, so he's going to be teaching a little bit of nursing down there. I said, where's your chalkboard picture of your favorite thing? Well, that's weird because he's the teacher, All right, real quick. Welcome back. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. So with school starting, a family member of mine, a young family member of mine, is starting first grade today, actually. Ryan, can you name your first grade teacher?
Yes, Mrs. Roscoff.
Okay, I'm 35. It should not. This concerns me. You could put a gun to my head right now and say, name your first grade teacher. I can't do it. I know my kindergarten teacher, my third grade teacher, and then my fourth, fifth, and like beyond. High school and middle school is easy. Bro, it was so weird because I just put in my group chat, with my family, my wife's family, like, oh, hey, name your first grade teacher. My mother-in-law. It's like, oh, yeah, it's this. I, for the life of me, cannot remember my first grade teacher's name.
I think I could remember all of them.
I know my kindergarten, Mrs. Goliath. Again, nothing. Absolutely nothing for first and second grade. Miss Siola, and I had Miss Lloyd was my third grade. She was when you're a teacher, you're learning, you're
assistant teacher?
No, student teacher. Good Lord. You could tell I really did well in school. Student teacher. Then I had Mrs. Gray, Mr. Smalley, fifth grade, and then sixth grade, middle school. Middle school was different because you didn't have one teacher. You went to all your different classes. High school, the same thing. But for the life of this morning, and I was like, I cannot remember my first grade teacher at all. So that would be a bad security question for me. And they're like, you forgot your password. What's your first grade teacher? Don't remember. I'll have to text my parents. I wonder if they remember. But anyway.
Do you have your yearbooks?
No. Did you buy yearbooks?
Yeah.
I think
my mother did.
Well, yeah, I guess my parents did. I have mine for my senior year of high school, but what is that? I don't know. You know what? Do you want to know what has become yearbooks and reunions? Facebook. Do you not just get onto Facebook and know exactly what most people you went to high school with is doing at this point?
Yeah.
At least the people you want to know about or you care enough about to know what's going on. So don't need to go. Dude,
Charles remembers his.
Do you? Do you think it's weird that I can't remember it? Is that not a good? That's probably not good for my long-term memory. That I have no idea.
I don't think it's a big deal.
Okay, good. I don't want early signs of anything going on over here. Yeah, I was sitting there. I was like, life of me can't remember. You know, the other thing, I am closing in on my 20-year reunion. Ugh.
Yeah. I'll be 5. I think I'm 5 years.
20 years ago, I was a sophomore. 20 years ago. Actually, want to know what? No, freshman. No, 20. I don't want to put any juice on this. This was my freshman year of college, or high school. 20 years ago was my freshman year of high school. Time flies, man. Time flies. Speaking of flying, we got the morning update. Ryan's got all the stories to kick off the week. Please take it away, Ryan.
Alrighty, well, the Guardians' offensive struggles continued this weekend. They get swept by the Brewers. They're now only 2 games ahead of the Minnesota Twins for the lead in the AL Central. The road gets no easier as they have today off, but Tuesday they travel to the Bronx to take on the New York Yankees.
So I saw this, friend of show, Justin Latta, Locked On Guards. There was a graphic, and I want to see if I can find this quickly off of his Twitter, of the contending teams, like within a playoff spot or within a couple of games, and where they were pre-All-Star break and post. And maybe he didn't post it. I think he did. Anyway, the whole point was that the Guardians offense, who wasn't that good anyway, limping into the All-Star break, has now completely tanked. Like, I think it was a measure of, I don't want to say OPS, maybe it was, I can't remember, that we were dead last. We were dead last of contending teams, either, again, in a playoff spot or within a couple of games. Found it. Brooks Gate on Twitter, and Justin retweeted it for me. There are 15 teams in baseball, either in a playoff spot or within a playoff spot. Offense, OPS, the first half, we were 14th out of the 15. Now we are dead last. Pitching ERA, we were 4th. Pre-All-Star break, now we're 6th. That's fine. Defensively, we were 8th, and now you bump up to 7th on OAA. I don't know what that is. And pitching was strictly ERA. So it's like, clearly, your middle-of-the-road defense, you're a little above average on your team ERA, and then you get to OPS. You get to the bats. And it's like, did we get a little home run happy? Which, if I had to signal one thing about what Stephen Kwan's issues are, man, he's trying to hit bombs, and he can't do that. But it's like now, I think they've lost their identity of manufacturing runs, stealing bases, getting on the, moving guys around. I don't know, man. Something's wrong with this offense, and it's like, I get what Vogt is doing. He's trying Brennan in the 2-hole. He's dropping Lane Thomas. Lane, for God bless, man. What the hell? And then if Naylor's not going to show up, Jose can only do so much, man. Fry? I mean, again, he's fine for what you're putting him in there. You thought Jimenez might be coming out of it. Rocchio's still a black hole. Like, that's it. You want to go anywhere, your bats are going to have to show the fuck up, man. And I'm getting concerned with now where we're sitting. What do you got? What, is it a 3 or 4 game set with the Yanks?
I think
3 and then an off day? We're off today. So was it? Oh, no, it wouldn't be. So no, you're right, because they can't play there on Friday. That's not how that works. It's got to be a 3-game set. 3 at New York. Boyd versus Luis Gil. So, okay, advantage them. Alex Cobb, Nasty Nestor.
Bruh.
And then you get Nestor Cortez, man. He pisses me off. He's the guy, if he was on your team, you'd love him, but when he's not, Nasty Nestor sounds like a pedophile.
It does.
You get him and Alex Cobb Wednesday, and then you get Gavin Williams, Garrett Cole. And then you're home against Texas, and then you got a 4-game set against Kansas City before you got 3 against Pittsburgh, 3 against Kansas City, 3 at the Dodgers. Bro, these next 2 weeks. Oh, boy. At least you're home. And again, by the way, that 4-game set against Kansas City, you got to make up doubleheader on that thing, on that Monday. You don't get another off day until Thursday, August 29th. You will play every day until then with a doubleheader a week from today against Kansas City. They better pull themselves out of this thing, man. They had better pull themselves out of this damn thing. So, all right. This weekend's gone. There's nothing I can do about it. Take 2 out of 3 from New York. Take 2 out of 3 from Texas. Then get me ready for that Kansas City series. That's all I ask. That's what I'm going to pray for. We'll see how it goes. Go Guards.
All right, well then,
go Guards.
All right, well,
Get it done,
the news broke Thursday, but we haven't yet had a chance to talk about it. But Ryan Day announced that Will Howard will be the Ohio State Buckeyes starting quarterback. He beats out quarterback Devin Brown and freshman Julian Saint.
Is Ryan Day going to slip and go, yeah, we paid him to be a starter here? Like, you paid him to be a starter. He's your starting quarterback. And, yeah, I know there's other guys there, and they might, I guess, maybe dive in the transfer. But everybody knew what it is, and the future is bright for Ohio State with Sayin and crew, Aaron Nolan, and all those guys. But Will Howard's the right pick. You paid him to come there and be your starting quarterback. He's going to be yeah, good for Ryan Day. Everything's on. They'll make the playoffs. Need an Addy this year for sure. By the way, Colt McCoy has told Peter Schrager after 14 years he's officially retiring from the NFL.
Well, already, best of luck to Colt post-football. Well, speaking of football, Matt, we might get an interesting race between Noah Lyles and Tyreek Hill. This comes after Noah Lyles, called out
somebody asked
Hill
him about the cheetah, right? Like somebody said,
I didn't know
who's really
Sharp and Chad Johnson had a podcast. Interesting.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Well, anyway, he called out Hill. Tyreek Hill says, sign the contract and lock in that 50-yard race. Lyles came back and said, Tyreek is just chasing clout. Anytime someone fast comes up, he would try to race them. If he really wanted to race people, he would have showed up like DK Metcalf. He's challenged me. We're racing in the 100. We can race. If he's truly serious about it, and I don't know why I said that twice. And you're talking about it, you're not just talking on the internet. You'll see me on the track. Matt, who do you got in this potential race?
I know that Tyreek Hill is fast, and I know that he's faster than some Olympians. I don't think he's faster than Noah Lyles. Here's the thing. You get into this thing with the boxing, and even the UFC to a point, they're sitting there yelling at one another. It's never going to happen. I'll put good money down. At least if it happens, it's not going to happen for another 8 months. There is in no world that the Miami Dolphins would let Tyreek Hill do that. He tears a hamstring. He'd forfeit all of that money. There is no way that that's happening anytime soon. So here's your problem, Ryan. Is this really something that will have 8 months worth of legs to it that they can get all the viewers? And what are you going to do? Sell it for $10 for people to watch? Get sponsors? No. And do I really want to see it? Yeah, sure. But it's also, you would bill it up for a 9-second run? Like, you'd have to have other events. You'd have, and that's, trust me, it's not worth it. I don't think that'll ever happen. If they want to bet their own money, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's missing the mark for me. I don't really care. I think Noah Lyles is faster. There's nothing wrong with that. Tyreek Hill's probably the fastest guy in the NFL. Good, great, cool. They're both really fast. I'd rather see Tyreek Hill out there playing football. I don't need him racing Noah Lyles. They're not going to do it during the season. This will be 8 months in the future, and by then, what's the word I'm looking for? The hype around it will be long gone. So don't even worry about it. They can talk all the smack they want. They'll get their views, their clicks, all that kind of stuff. Don't worry about it.
Alrighty, lastly here for the morning update, WNBA star Caitlin Clark continues to wow in her rookie season. Her 9 assists in Indiana Fever's 92-75 win over the Seattle Storm means she has 232 assists on the season, Matt. That is a rookie record. She passes Tisha Penchiero's previous rookie record of 224 assists that was set back in 1998.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Olympic stuff is over, and she'll make the next Olympic team. And now, I think as this season goes on, because I think one of the problems with the Olympics was it was people trying to discredit Caitlin Clark. And it's like, okay, she wasn't necessarily the right fit or good enough or not for that Olympic team. She's still really freaking good. And I think the vast majority of people understand that. But like any star player, there will always be haters. So there's going to be people that watch to hate on, and there's going to be people that watch because they want to root her on and think she's going to be great. I think she's going to be awesome. She's been great for WNBA. And she'll continue to click things off like this. Now, the question is, will she get to a championship? Does she need maybe leave to go to another team? WNBA is extremely healthy right now. What game was I just watching? It was on ABC this weekend. It was the Lynx and not the Liberty. I don't know. The Lynx were playing. Oh, the Mercury. That's who they were playing. And, you see it. It's on, Sunday, Saturday afternoons. You start to tune in. You start to understand who they are. It's all thanks to Caitlin Clark in a part. Not all things, but in part to where she's clicking things off, and that's where we're at. Well, oh, my God. Did you see this? Giant Eagle is selling Get-Go.
Interesting.
Because wasn't that their whole, remember the perks thing where everybody's like, oh, you got to shop at Giant Eagle, get these perks and all this. This just came out. Giant Eagle has announced its agreement to sell all of their Get-Go convenience stores. I love Get-Go. They got a nitro iced coffee. Delicious. In an email to the company, the grocery store chain has reached an agreement with Couche-Tard, a company Giant Eagle describes as a global leader in the convenience store industry. They also operate, Circle K. So they're the owner of Circle K here in the Midwest. For Giant Eagle, this transition enables us to greater focus our resources and enhance and grow our core supermarket and pharmacy business. Those concerned about their My Perks rewards, following the close, they've agreed to keep and partner together on the My Perks loyalty program while exploring opportunities to expand the program and maybe lock even more discounts. The deal's expected to close next year. So it's basically like they're going to keep the perks, but then Giant Eagle just doesn't have to run Get-Go's anymore. What's your favorite gas station? Sheetz?
Sheetz is a good one.
I've never been to a Wawa
I haven't either. I've been to one in Florida, actually.
What's the one that everybody talks about in Texas that's like, it's like a Walmart, but it's a gas station?
Buc-ee's?
Buc-ee's, is that it?
I think so.
Never been to one. I think for us, I think Circle K is pretty great, too. Like, there's a Speedway there's a lot of Speedways by me. So, like, I usually do Speedways. Can't tell you last time I've been to a marathon. Shell, whatever. But as far as, like, you could go in and there's made food. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about hot dog rollers.
Right.
Like, Sheetz, Get-Go, I guess, again, Wawa. I think Sheetz is pretty goated. I think that's probably my pick.
Yeah, Sheetz has good food.
Sheetz has good food. Sheetz has really good food. But I like Get-Go, too. I like their coffee. I like their coffee a lot. So, sad to see Get-Go go. All right. Oh, that's fine. We'll take that's fine.
Nope.
Well,
nope.
We need to describe the parameters right now for this week. Here we go. So, we've done this before, and we would like to very much do this again.
Oh, God. I just saw Washington's in it.
Oh, those bastards. We always screw up on the Washington Commanders. Here's how it works. The Immaculate Grid, which you know what it is. Got to do player up and down, left and right. If Ryan and I get 5 days completed in a row, we do a giveaway. Last time, it was for a copy of NCAA EA Sports. Maybe something similar for the next one. But we got to get the 5 days. And it starts always on a critical day one. Here's the parameter. Do we want to do a lifeline?
Yeah, we get one.
So the lifeline is this. If we screw up a week or a day, we are then afforded a lifeline to recapture that day. We have got to call it immediate. Well, I mean, obviously, when we screw it up, we'll do it right away. The question is, should we do another grid or do Wordle?
Personally, I think Wordle.
I like Wordle, too, because that gives us a little bit more of an opportunity.
Right.
A little bit more of an opportunity. So those are the rules. We got to do it. We still have a 9-minute parameter on that each day. No help, no outside help from the YouTubes or the Twitters. We get it. We're good. Our lifeline is Wordle. Are you set? Yep. Right.
I'm ready.
I did it over the weekend. To keep the brain going. Sip of my coffee. Go. All right. Here we go.
All right.
Hey, by the way, can I pause it? Yeah. Can you roll over top of 10 sacks and click on it? I found this. I was doing it on my phone. And if you click on it, it tells you what it is.
I knew that.
I didn't know that. So that, I don't know if that helps us, but what does it say? 10 sacks with that team, correct?
10 sacks must be achieved with that team in a single season.
Okay. All right. We're back on it. Go.
All right, Patriots.
I mean, I would say Chandler Jones, right? Did he get 10 sacks while he was there?
That might be debatable.
I don't have a better answer there. Like Kyle Van Noy, maybe?
Has he gotten 10?
I don't know. I don't think Vrabel got 10 while he was. Like, who's a really great New England pass rusher? I'm blanking a little bit.
Right.
So let's scroll on down. Aiden Hutchinson got 10 last year, did he not?
He had to.
I would believe so.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
And
Eagles. You can go Reggie. Yes, the older one.
This one?
Wait, I can't see it.
That says 85 to 2000.
Right?
This one's, because this one's only 92 to 96.
Yeah, that's not good. Okay. All right, let's hold off. Let's open up some other avenues here. Now, Patriots across, Jacoby Brissett works for both of them.
We should probably.
The question is, right. We always struggle with Washington.
I feel like we should go, unless we can think of one.
But let's open it up here.
This could be Stephon Gilmore.
That could be. That's right. But then, and Stephon Gilmore doesn't work for any of the other two, right? Going down about Indy. No. Okay. Wait. Okay, that's fine. Because I was going to say if Brissett would work for any of the other two, but he doesn't. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Stephon Gilmore. Okay. Fitzpatrick, Washington. Did he ever do Lions or the Eagles? I don't believe so. Off my gut, I don't think so. Right?
No, but we could do Washington Eagles, Carson Wentz.
We could. Okay. I like that. Goofy looking guy.
Yeah, he is.
All right. Washington Lions. You know me and my Mark Brunells, man. I don't think so, though. Eric line. Is that not Eric Ebron there?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Eric Ebron works there. Okay. Colts Philly. I feel like there should be an easy layup here. Deshaun Jackson never went to Indy.
Yeah, there's one. We just got to think for a second.
Alshon Jeffrey never went to Indy. Marcus Mariota never went to Indy. I don't think Mark Sanchez did. Matt Ryan, no. Phillip Rivers, no. Oh, man. Okay. God, there's... I know there's probably going to be like a legacy type of guy, too, that I'm missing here. Ron Jaworski never played in Indy, did he? For the Colts? I know. No. Okay. Doesn't really help.
I mean, like, Edgerrin James? No,
he went to Arizona. Yeah, let's flip it. Let's do some Colts players. Harrison, no. Reggie Wayne, don't think so. I don't think Brandon Stokely, right?
Dallas Clark,
No. Can't think of any DBs that ran through there. Zach Moss is in Cincy now.
Jay Ajayi, I don't think went to the Colts.
I want that to work, but I don't know.
Name
That's
Hines
a good
never
pull.
played for the Eagles. LaShawn McCoy never played for the Colts.
Are you sure?
I don't think so.
Okay. I want to force that one in there, but I think you're right. Mark Sanchez never played in Indy, did he?
All right, let me think of Washington Lions.
All right, let's flip over there.
Washington
Lions.
Oh, gosh. Pierre Garçon, no.
Dan Orlovsky.
kickers. I mean, Matt Prater, no.
Joey Sly, I don't think so. I don't know. I'd like to believe Matt Prater works there, but I don't think so. There's got to be one just...
Marvin Jones, no. Kenny Galladay, no. Cole, no. Danny Amendola, no.
Don't think so. I don't think Vernon Davis ever went to the Lions.
Alex Smith, no.
Did Logan Thomas ever go play for the Lions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Man, we always struggle on defensive players for Washington, too.
No. Washington gets us every
I know,
time.
they're always a tough one for us. Running backs, Clinton Portis, I don't think so.
Nelson Aguilar, did he ever play for the Colts? No, I don't think so.
No, I thought about him earlier, too.
Yikes.
I mean, we could rip our old friend Josh Johnson. I'd feel better about him, Washington, and the Lions. I know we played for Washington. I mean, I think I would like to believe that he works there, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, man, I just don't think like Chase Daniel, like Colt McCoy.
Ndamukong Suh never played for Washington, did he?
No, that's a good pull. We need to start remembering him on some of this too. No, that's a deep cut.
Did like
man.
Eric Fisher ever go to like Washington?
No. He was in Kansas City, then he went to the Colts.
Oh, maybe who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Luke Joeckel?
No, he was like the Jags and something else, and then another failed like
Ziggy Ansah?
I don't think Ziggy Ansah ever went to Washington. Well, all right, we're at 7.5 minutes. So if you want, we could, I mean, now it's like we got to go. So it's either throw Josh Johnson in there and see, and then do Chandler Jones, or...
Let's just try Chandler.
I mean, I can't think of any other...
Vince Wilfork, no way, got 10 sacks in a season.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like, I mean...
It's got to be. We can't come up with a better one, so it's got to be him. Okay. Now I mean...
Eagles Colts, like...
Eagles Colts. Like Brent Selleck, he was the tight end there, didn't work.
Oh my God.
What?
Nick Foles?
Holy God. Ryan.
How did we not think of that? How did we not think of that?
I don't know.
I guarantee you in the chat we're getting it.
I know we're getting roasted, but we got it.
They don't know the pressure that we're under.
I know. That's like it really just put these blinders on. All right,
Oh.
Just say it.
Is that not, or did he just get there, Jeff Okudah?
I don't know.
Or did he just get to the Falcons?
I think he just got to Houston. I don't think Jeff Okudah ever played in Washington. I don't.
Am I just making that up?
I think you might be making that up. Because like they had Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, and I'd like Jeff Okudah to work, but I just don't think he played in Washington. I don't remember. Chase Young was there. Technically, we're at time. Shoot. So unless something else just really hits us
Deion Sanders never played for Detroit, right?
I don't think so.
Golden Tate, did he ever play for Washington?
No, that doesn't. I don't think so.
Do we think Josh Johnson would?
I mean, I know we played in Washington. Go for it.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, man, it's big boy stuff here.
Adrian
Pull up Wordle.
Do we want to see any before?
No.
You don't want to see any?
F that grid.
Oh, God. All right, let me pull up Wordle. That's what I hate, having to use our lifeline on the freaking Monday.
I know. I am going to look up other options other than Adrian Peterson on that.
That's so depressing.
I know, that's so... Real quick. Adrian Peterson, Dan Wilkinson, Charlie Weaver, Gus Farrat, Rodney Peete, TJ Duckett. All right, I'm going to...
Charles said we could use Mark Sanchez for Skins and Eagles, and then Wentz
and
for
Deshaun
Colts.
Watson. Yeah, I guess we could have.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Jackson. I had a really deep cut of a guy, but it wouldn't have worked. Jeff Zaganya. He played for the. I guess he never played up there. Yeah. Steelers, Falcons, Rams, Colts.
All right, well, let's
all right. We got to just do Wordle then.
start Wordling.
All right. Depressed. Start with that.
Trash.
Trash is where we start. All right.
I mean,
Okay.
not
All
bad.
right. I was thinking about something T, you know.
Starts with it. No, it can't start with a T.
No, I'm saying like blank T something. But like ST would be a good start, but I don't think that's it either.
Well, we could try
ME.
Oh, there's no S. We can't.
ME.
ME.
I'm just like MET. R. Like metric. There's too many words. No, it's short of meteor. I like where your head's at, though.
Wait, let me just try
All right, yeah. If you got an idea, go for it. Go RE.
RE.
Yeah, because well, I'm sorry. You do what you want.
No, I mean, I don't really know.
O.
No.
All right, go back to what you were doing. Whatever you thought you were gonna do. ROT. Rot.
That's not a word, right? That's not how you spell it.
No, it's not how you spell rotten. Short of T. Rotel. No. ROT. ROT.
No. We are.
OL. Rotel? Like the pasta? Or the
No.
Ro.
What about? No.
Let's just come up with an easy word to put in there.
Okay.
And try to use as many letters as we can. F-E-R. See, I'd like feral, but we don't have an A. We need a T.
Yeah.
F-E-T. Fetty?
You need an R.
All right, you like to start. Let's start with someone with an R here.
Can't think of a word.
Just go rotor. R-O-T-O-R. That's a start. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, no, the O's don't work. I was say go motor. M.
Oh, how about this meter?
All right. Just aced it. We're
Quit
back.
playing.
We're back.
Quit playing.
Day one. We're through. Not easy. We had to use the lifeline. But here we are. All right. Done and done. That's Gardner Minshew, Philly, Indy. Willie McGinnis. Nice job, Mike. That would have worked, too. And I guess he also follows up that Buc-ee's is coming to Ohio.
Nice.
Talking about gas stations there. All right. That's day one. We'll do some studying. We'll get through it.
We really have to be perfect.
We're going to have to be perfect the rest of the week. Perfect the rest of the week. All right, let's get right to you. You want to do time hop? We're a little late on that. Let's get to it. All right, let's get to it. A little bit of time up. We'll tell you what happened here on the 19th of August. The date, we go back 3 years ago today. The Browns started their joint practice with the Giants. Old friend Fred Kitchens back in town. Jabril Peppers, and that was when everybody at Giants were all hot and heavy, right? Dable and all that. And I was out there covering. It was competitive. Browns had won a couple of days, but they started their joint practices this day 2021. This day 2020, which is a little weird to say, but the Blue Jackets were eliminated from the playoffs in the first round because of COVID. They had to push everything back. They fell to Tampa 4-1 in that series there. Now, I know Reflog, I think, put this out yesterday, but I've got it as today's date, that in this day 2016, Tyler Naquin hit a walk-off inside the park home run against the Blue Jays. Now, don't forget, we were down 2-1 in the ninth. Jose hit a solo home run with 1 out. Then Naquin comes up with 2 outs. He hits a deep shot to right. The guy tries to catch it. He misses it. It bounces off the wall, heads into center field. Naquin just blazing. And then the center fielder runs over to get the ball, and he slips. And then he throws it in, and Naquin comes around, and he scores. It's funny. We'll get to Hammy, obviously, for today, too. But Hammy goes, Usain Naquin! Going off of Usain Bolt with the inside the park home run. This day, 2014, this is going to make you laugh. A report came out that Jerry Jones had to be physically restrained from drafting Johnny Manziel.
Bro, what does that even mean? Put him in a straitjacket?
He was going to run to the phone, and somebody had to grab him and go, no, don't. Would have probably saved us a lot of headaches. You know what your quarterback would have been? Ted Bridgewater. Okay. And I was crapping on Teddy Bridgewater in that draft. Was Derek Carr in that draft, too? I think he was. Maybe. I think that's right. Hang on here. Stand by. 2014 NFL draft. I was, I knocked Ted Bridgewater because I didn't like the gloves and like his hand size. First overall pick, 2014. Do you remember?
2014. That was 2013 the horrible draft?
Yes. 2014 actually had a lot of pretty good players in it. Clowney goes 1. Then Greg Robinson, Blake Bortles, Sammy Watkins. Then Khalil Mack, Jake Matthews, Mike Evans. Then we take Justin Gilbert ahead of Anthony Barr, Eric Ebron, Taylor Lewan, Odell Beckham, and Aaron Donald. Oh. You're right. We take Johnny Manziel at 22. Who did the Cowboys? They took Zach Martin, who turned into an all-pro guard. Probably the right call there. Then Bridgewater goes 32nd. We took Joel Bitonio 35th. Derek Carr went 36th.
Okay.
So if you would have taken one of those guys, and then you had a big fall off for the quarterbacks there. Next quarterback taken was Jimmy Garoppolo at 62. But yeah, if they had taken him, maybe we would have got Zach Martin, but then maybe you wouldn't have had Joel Bitonio. Butterfly. That's how that goes, man. This day, 2010, Roger Clemens was indicted on 6 counts of perjury for lying to Congress about his PED usage. I thought it was so weird. Why did Congress ever get involved in that?
Yeah, that is interesting.
Like, was it fraud? I mean, I guess, how baseball couldn't clean up their own mess. I get if they wanted, the independent, the Mitchell report, they wanted the independent part of it, but I always thought it was so weird. These guys, had to go to, federal court on some of this kind of stuff. Then we go back to this day, 1909. It was the first ever race in Indianapolis. Louis Switcher won the 5-mile race with an average speed of 57 miles per hour. The track was nothing but crushed rock and tar, which led to the deaths of 2 drivers, 2 riding mechanics, and 2 spectators over the 5-mile race. So obviously at 57 miles an hour, I can do that, Matt. It took about 5 hours through that race. Did you know back in the day in those cars, you had a riding mechanic?
No, I didn't.
So could you imagine driving one of those old cars, you have somebody that's sitting next to you, something breaks on the car, they would like get on a system and lay under the car while you're driving to fix the car.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's how crazy that was, racing back in the day. Two Cleveland GOATs share a birthday. Stipe Miocic and Tom Hamilton, both celebrating birthdays today. Anthony Munoz, Morton Anderson, the aforementioned Kirk Herbstreit, celebrating a birthday today. David Boston, Kirk Cousins, Bill Clinton, Fred Thompson, who some people know him as a senator, but he actually was an actor. Fred Thompson, I know him from... And I think, unfortunately, he has passed. He has. I know him. Did you watch Days of Thunder?
No.
Okay, he plays the NASCAR commissioner. He was in Die Hard 2. But Cape Fear, there was another one that he was in, and I can't remember what it was. I'm looking at his No Way Out. That wasn't it. Necessary Roughness. In the Line of Fire. Was it a television show? I don't know. But Law and Order, he was a DA in Law and Order for a long time. But Fred Thompson, R.I.P. Celebrating a birthday. Matthew Perry celebrating a birthday today. John Stamos, Fat Joe, and Nate Dogg all celebrating birthdays today. All right, television show and a movie for you that debuted this day in history. We go to the TV show first. This day, 2009.
2009.
This is a business type of show.
Mad Men?
No. Good guess, but no. If I read you this, like the plot, it would like ruin it for you. It's actually like a reality television show. I don't want to give it to you because again, it'd just be so easy.
It's like the house makeover one?
No.
Business reality show?
Business reality show.
Oh. Undercover Boss?
No, good guess, but no.
Apprentice?
No. If you have a really good idea, you might go on this show.
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank is correct. Entrepreneurs make their business presentations to a venture capitalists called the Sharks. Mark Cuban. Hey, I never watched it. Did anything actually like come out of this?
Oh yeah, dude. There's a lot.
Okay. Notable companies that appeared on
Shark. The big one is the what do they call it? The Squeeze Daddy, whatever the
Scrub Daddy.
Scrub Daddy.
I got the list. Notable companies that appeared on Shark Tank: Bombas, like the sock company; Coffee Meets Bagel; Ring.
Yes, Ring.
Which started with Doorbot; Kodiak Cakes, but didn't reach a deal; Scan, which got bought by Snapchat; Scrub Daddy; The Groove Book; Talbot Tees; Manscaped, and Played It. Due to the popularity, many companies have falsely advertised that they were on the show, but they actually weren't. I guess I just thought it'd be a little bit more. Like, early season started in 2009, then they were in syndication. Now they've been on a new set, I guess. Ava the Elephant, Breathometer, Bubba Q's Boneless Ribs, Drop Stop Dude Wipes.
Dude Wipes, big one.
Okay.
Brown, shout out to Brown.
Yeah. Note Hall, Red Dress Boutique, Scrub Daddy, 1031 Productions. I feel like I've heard of them. Maybe. Wicked Good Cupcakes. Those are all the ones that I've only ever had, like, I'm assuming if they don't have a Wikipedia, they're probably not well known. But yeah, can't say that I've ever really watched it, but Shark Tank, this day 2009. All right, to the film, this day 2005. I have seen this film because it's hilarious. It follows the adventures of a man who's trying to remedy a pretty big situation in his life at a certain age of his life.
Say that again.
So this movie follows a man and his then group of, like, he finds this group of friends that's going to help him to remedy a certain situation.
40-year-old
That
version.
is correct. 40-year-old version. That is correct. Did that launch Steve Carell? Like, when did The Office start? It was after that, wasn't it?
Office is like, what, 2008?
Like, give me some Steve Carell filmography here for a second. The Office, Despicable Me. How much money do you think he prints from Despicable Me, by the way, for Steve Carell? And The Office. All right. 62. Filmography. So he was in Bruce Almighty in 2003, then went Anchorman in 2004 into 40-Year-Old Virgin. Then Little Miss Sunshine, which is a great film, and then he just takes off, right? Evan Almighty, the second one. Then Despicable Me in 2010. Anchorman 2, Neighbors, Foxcatcher, which is a great film. And then he's obviously off into, everything else. But I guess, I didn't know this. He was a correspondent on The Daily Show starting in 1999. Then The Office started in 2005. So what a run there for Steve Carell, starting pretty much in 04. So you go, again, Bruce Almighty into 40-Year-Old Virgin, into The Office, Anchorman, all that. And then gets Despicable Me, which is just making money hand over fist. So congratulations to Steve Carell. There you go. 40-Year-Old Virgin released this day in 2009. All right, I want to head back to our Twitter question this morning. At Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a file there. How concerned are you about the Browns' offensive line situation? I try to talk people off the ledge a little bit. Their backups, I get it. There's options out there. You got to see who's going to end up starting. Ryan, what's our poll results so far this morning?
Yeah, 53.4 leads the way. Very worried. 37.5 moderately worried. Just 9% a little or not worried.
All right. So, that's where we're at. Obviously, they're off today. Interesting week as they get ready to go for Seattle. And I think I'll talk about this. We'll talk about this a little bit more tomorrow, Ryan. Are you at all changing how you view Deshaun Watson playing on Saturday with some of these O-line injuries? I don't. You have to play him. You have to play him. And I look at it from this standpoint. Here's even more of a reason why you should have played him in week 1. If you'd have played him in week 1 of the preseason, then maybe I'd be singing a different tune. Now, you put yourself in a box. You have no choice but to play him in this game coming up Saturday, and now you got your offensive line problems. I think the biggest thing is if you can somehow get Conklin back, maybe I'd feel a little bit better about it. But at this point, if you put DeJuan Jones with Batonio Teller and Ethan Posick out there, that's enough for me. Throw who you can there at left tackle, run a lot to the right, and have Deshaun Watson roll out to the right, get him out there for a quarter, and I'll feel fine about it. That's where I'm at. You're going to have Mari Cooper out there. You're hopefully going to have Jerry Jeudy. You should have your contingent of the offensive side of things out there, but you backed yourself in a corner. You have to play him, and now all of a sudden, what do you got? You got injuries, and now you feel less stable about it, but you have to play him. I don't have a choice about it.
Yeah, I think you do too, and it's tough, right? If he's going to go out there and get hurt,
well, that's the other thing. Now, are you all concerned about the injuries? It reminds you, you're like, crap, man, these injuries are bad, and they suck, and they make things really hard for you.
I just can't fathom a world he goes out there, gets hurt, and he's not starting.
No, I don't either. You can't do that now. You can't fan scared. You can't play him scared. You've got to put him out there. He has to play. Yeah. There's no choice. He's got to play. But that's where they're at. And if you got to figure it out exactly what you're going to do on that offensive line, power to you, I guess. There was one other thing I didn't get to this morning. Oh, Will Brinson. By the way, Warren Sharp confirmed Thursday, 9:30, Warren's going to join us. Man, we have a lot of stuff there. Will Brinson projecting every team's record. And again, he goes over-under starting with DraftKings, but gives his own. So we know for the Cleveland Browns, their over-under set at 8.5. Oh, God. Will Brinson, 7-10.
That's not going to cut it.
I had the Browns on my list of 7 teams who could miss the postseason, so quite naturally, Browns fans are thrilled. Defensively, I'm a little concerned about Cleveland repeating its performance from last year. Jim Schwartz is one of my favorite defensive coordinators, but the Browns are very up and down in terms of their performance depending on home road splits. There's a red flag with that. On the other side of the ball, their biggest loss may be Bill Callahan. Mix in an unknown timeline for Nick Chubb, and you could make the case of a top-tier rushing offense falling off. Deontay Foreman's their short yardage back, but suffered the scary injury. Thankfully, he's back. Things are getting thin at running back, and how can anyone possibly suggest that Deshaun Watson's going to be good? Okay, well, we'll see. We won't have seen him in more than we haven't seen him more than 3 years. I thought he was saying we haven't seen him in 3 years, but we haven't seen him play well in 3 years. Jerry Jeudy will help Watson get his performance back, but I think Stefanski would prefer having Baker Mayfield still on this team. Had to put that jab in there. And there's a lot of unknown, and it revolves around Watson. 7. Sobering, bro. Sobering. I shouldn't have gotten to it. I should have just skipped it. Should have just done it for another day. We'll see how it goes. Final thing for us today, Ryan, our brackets.
Yes.
Excited for this. Your favorite. Okay. How do you want me to put this? In honor of the season, our big play bracket of the week. Favorite school-related movie. So Dazed and Confused. Does that count? Because they get out of school. Fast Times.
I'd say it counts.
What's that?
It counts.
Okay. School of Rock.
Yeah.
Okay. The debate is going to be Harry Potter.
Right.
We're talking about does Harry Potter count because they're at school? I don't know. I don't think so.
School.
I don't think so.
No.
So it is school. Breakfast Club. Movies.
Yeah, Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club's got to make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Okay. School of Rock. Breakfast Club.
Fast Times.
I put Fast Time. Mean Girls. All in. Need 16. Cast your votes. There you go. All right, what gift should I use? Fast Times?
Yeah.
That's got to be #1 seed. Fast Times at Ridgemont High is where it is. Totally awesome. There it is. Cast your votes. All right, we're in. Perks of Being a Wallflower. A little bit of weird. Kind of
downer.
Weird. Yeah. Yes. Bring It On. Ooh. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, yes, of course.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes.
Easy A. Oh, my God. Super Bad. Napoleon Dynamite.
Super Bad.
Super Bad is so good, man.
Napoleon Dynamite,
Do you want to know why that movie makes me sad, though? That movie came out my freshman year of college, and it's just it's so relatable to people of that era of just being awkward and going to college and all that kind of stuff. Grease,
I mean, High School Musical.
High School Musical, 16 Candles.
Yeah, we got a lot.
But okay, Hoosiers, Remember the Titans, Friday Night Lights. Does that count?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess they're in school, but it's I don't know. American Pie?
Yeah.
They're in school.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put Back to the Future, and this is on this list, but it's not. 21 Jump Street?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're going back to school. Juno?
We'll have a lot.
She's All That? I don't know anything else that Rachel Lee Cook ever did except She's All That, but she was pretty hot in that. That's just the list when Accepted. What was the movie with, oh my God, Jack Black plays the stoner brother, and he's trying to get into college?
No idea.
Orange County. Orange County.
Okay.
Was there not another, oh my God, what's the movie? And my wife knows this movie. She loves it. It's Justin Long, and he creates his own school.
Oh, yes. That's Accepted.
Is that Accepted?
Yeah.
That's it. That's Accepted. You're right. It's because is Jonah Hill in that too? Fat Jonah Hill is in that
I
one?
remember, but yeah, I've seen
I
that
think
movie.
that's it.
Yeah.
Wasn't the acronym SHIT, Southampton Institute of Technology
Yeah,
or something like that? You remember that? Yeah. Barnaby. That's it. Barnaby Gaines from McKinley High School in Wickliffe. He creates the South Harmon Institute of Technology.
What about Project X?
Never seen it.
Oh, they throw the biggest party ever.
Really?
How have you never
I've
seen
never
that
seen
movie?
Project X. I don't even. Oh, Miles Teller was in there. There you go. All right. So, I honestly think that we could pretty much fill this out by ourselves.
Yeah, we could.
Super Bad. Cody says Scream.
I guess you're not wrong.
Angus from Nick. Can't say I know that one all that well. All right. So again, I think we're going to start. I think we're off to a good start with that. On that, just on the list that we got. So tweet it at MattFontana83. Drop a follow there. You can always retweet the show at Matt Fontana Show as well. Ryan is at Ryan Tyler33. All right, busy day for us today. Download our brand new app. Big Play has an app for all of our shows. Go download it. It's up for Apple right now, Roku, smart TVs, and I think Google's on its way. But for right now, for Apple and the smart TVs, go download the Big Play app. Big Play Cleveland tonight. You also have Hanford. You've got Blake and Greg Williams. Got Bobby Carpenter yesterday. And also check it out, bigplay.com. Do we have the app? I'm assuming we maybe have the app there too, right?
Yeah.
Do we? All right. Go to bigplay.com. You'll see the entry for our golf outing as well. Hey.
Yeah, I think they updated the website.
They did, but I wonder, is it closed? Registration open or still closed for the golf outing? It's got to still be open.
I
assume it's got to still be open. I don't know how it couldn't be. All right, but anyway, check that out, bigplay.com. We're there. We got you locked and loaded. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're up on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter for all of it. As always, appreciate your support. Tweets are flying in. Varsity Blues, Super Bad, Animal House. How did we forget about Animal House? Revenge of the Nerds, Old School. Oh, my God, I forgot about Old School.
Old School.
And Brian says Varsity
Role
Blues.
Models.
I don't know how school related it is, though. Bro, we just ripped through 16 and they're all like number one seeds. How are you going to go between, just even Matt tweets? Different Matt. Better football player, BW Matt. I played with Matt. He was a good player. I was not. Revenge of the Nerds, Old School, and Dazed and Confused. How we might have
Dazed
to put
Confused
those.
is so
He
good.
said, I don't know how anybody tops Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Which is just so good. That cast was like,
Yeah, it
holy cow, right? Holy cow. Richard Linklater on that one for you. Yeah, and then again, it's like hard because Varsity Blues, like, Friday Night Lights, Remember the Titans, like, there's obviously, I'll tell you, you want to know what? I think Remember the Titans deserves it more than the other ones because what were they fighting? The segregation in the schools. Varsity Blues and Friday Night Lights, it's a high school football. Like, it's not like them sitting in class. Like, I don't know Winchell was trying to go to college and all that. And I love those movies, but I might have to axe those. I don't know if they're going to make it. Well, you want to know what? If we get enough votes for it, we'll put it in. It's for the people. If they get enough votes for it, we're in. All right, appreciate your support. We're back on Tuesday. Same time, same channel. Appreciate your following. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.